There is a high probability that I am going to completely mess up this review. Yes, I have to admit, I was going to open this on camera, and in doing the previous take, I confused myself and also overdid the snuff a little bit, took too much of it. So this is take two, I'm sorry, but it was a random choice, I swear. Just because I've always been in search of the perfect coffee snuff does not mean that I cheated. This is the Cafe Partisan from Gadsden Mill. All right, there's a variety of coffee that I buy once in a very great while, and generically it's called mahogany. And I really don't know what the species of coffee bean is, but it's a very kind of fruity sort of coffee scent, and I'm getting that out of the envelope as well. Um, I'm not really smelling coffee, as I might expect. But we have talked in the past. There is some coffee there, yes, but again, it smells more like a cafe mahogany than, for instance, like a French roast or something like that. It is a slightly sweet smell and it's very pleasant. It may not be my perfect coffee snuff, but I'm going to reserve judgment. Now, let's talk about the grind. One of my principal complaints I had with Jeremy when he started out 4 years ago was that his grind was very uneven, and in some cases, rare cases, I would actually get sharp little bits of the stem that would cause scratches inside my nose and stuff. It wasn't terribly pleasant. I am pleased to say this is a very moist snuff. This is much higher than medium moisture. It does prill together very nicely, but more importantly, the grind is uniform. It's a very nice grind. So I would call this a medium to coarse grind, nearly a Schmalzler. And the moisture level certainly would say Schmalzler. There is definitely something fermented in here. If this isn't mahogany coffee, the variety of scenting that they might have used, this is definitely fermented. It is very Schmalzler-like, at least in the envelope. Now again, I was able to pill this up. I'm going to hold this up to the camera, and you can. Oh, well, it fell. Waste of good snuff. I hate that. Oh, I got it. I saved it. Yeah, it's still hanging together in a little clump. So again, it's super, super moist. I'm going to powder this out on my boxcar, and we'll give it a shot up the nose. Yeah, the first time I took this, I took way too much and sneezed it right back out, and all it was really left was some menthol. Now, I understand the use of menthol by snuff makers. I really do. For one thing, although tobacco really doesn't need much preserving, it is a preservative for the tobacco and an antibacterial, antifungal for the tobacco. It augments the perceived uptake of nicotine. It makes it feel like you're getting stronger nicotine, may get it to you faster. And menthol also impacts sort of the same class of receptors in the brain that tobacco does. So you get, a 1-2 punch. Thirdly, and probably most importantly, it opens your nose for the more subtle scents in the snuff. Well, let's give this a try. Dun, 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 dun. Hi, Jeremy. Don't disappoint me, bro. Do not disappoint me. Yeah, this requires a bit of suction through the nose to keep it up in the nose. It's heavy. There is menthol. Yeah, it's a sensation more than a smell. Give me a minute on this. It's worth analyzing carefully. As you'll notice, these envelopes are the same style that Rene Rosinski uses with the Ziploc below a tear strip. These are very good for selling snuff. They're good for the vendor. They weigh next to nothing, so shipping is cheaper. They maintain absolute freshness in the snuff, but if you don't get the Ziploc closed, and I'm not doing it very well right now, if you don't get the Ziploc closed tightly, your snuff will go stale in these. I've got experience with some of Rosinski's stuff. I think his machine needs a little bit of fine tuning in Mr. Rosinski's case. This is perfect. I was able to seal it just fine. This is also a plasticized envelope. And it's going to keep the snuff very, very, very fresh on the way to you from Gadsden Mill. I want to find out where he's going to be selling this. I'm hoping that we will be able to buy it. Back drip is strong and profuse and stingy, just like a schmalzler. Now I'm getting the coffee. Okay, I get it, Jeremy. I got it. Yeah, it's just an afterthought, and it's very pleasant, slightly sweet. Again, we still have a little of that sort of fermenty fruitiness there. Back drip. Yeah, if you like the Schmalzler back drip, you're going to like this. If you don't, sniff it very gently or take much smaller bumps than I just did. If I squished out that bump, it was the diameter of your average thumbtack, if that helps. So it was a fairly big bump, certainly larger than an apple seed. How's the nick? Well, it's a little early to tell, but I'm feeling it. Not intensely, but it's there. I've been deliberately avoiding other forms of tobacco, and I've only had a couple of pinches of snuff today, so I was ready for some nicotine, and this is satisfying. So, on the nicotine scale, where 1 would be no nicotine at all or so little you couldn't perceive it, and 10 is way too much, this rate's a very solid 7 for nicotine. If you're sensitive to nicotine, and if you are a little bit more jaded, if you have a higher tolerance, you might rate this as a 6, but the nicotine is still very, very good. Aroma, 5 out of 5. It's lovely. The menthol is not confrontational. I think, just after first sniff, that we can safely say that Gadsden Mill has arrived. Welcome to prime time, Jeremy, Courtney. You guys made one hell of a snuff. 5 out of 5 all day, every day. Will I buy it? Yes, I will. If I can get more before the contest, maybe some of you will receive this as your snuff prize. Thanks for watching, Jeremy. Again, well done. Proud of you, man. This is good. This is fantastic. Is it coffee? Is it my Holy Grail? But I'll take it for what it is. And what it is delicious. From the dank basement, Paul Schallbetter, Gadsden Mill Cafe Partisan.